Hey there. So last night I had a terrible night, a sleepless night, and I know I'm not the only one. So are you stuck sometimes in the middle of the night, maybe 2 a.m., and you wake up and you just can't seem to control those thoughts? They're racing through. Maybe you're thinking about what happened the day before. Maybe you're thinking about the day to come. Maybe you're thinking, where did these thoughts even come? So what I want to say today is that there are some things that we can practice to slow those anxious thoughts at night and give you a few tools and tips. So, number one, what we need to understand is what's actually going on in the brain. When we wake up in the middle of the night, typically this is due to an increase of cortisol, so our stress hormone. And what that does is it activates our amygdala, our fear center, and it just spikes us. And it says there's something going on, we're in danger. It perceives threats when there's no threat. Additionally, what we see when we have sleep deprivation is that it also alters activity in the thalamus, which is about sensory processing, and also the cingulate cortex, which is about our self awareness, kind of our bodily awareness. So when we have sleep deprivation, those systems are downplayed as well. So sleep deprivation is really difficult and it makes our smart brain really foggy headed and it can't work through what's going on. So when that's happening, we're going to see increased activity in those thoughts. We cannot control our thoughts coming into our mind. We can control them once they enter, if that makes sense. A lot of my clients complain about, I have this thought and I just don't understand where it came from. Don't fight that the thought is coming. When you see the thought, that's where we need to capture it. So there's a couple different things that you can do. If you're in bed at night like me, we need to also understand that there could be some underlying effects. So that could be hormones. For myself, I am perimenopausal. I'm 46 this week, and this has been huge. It has totally impacted my sleep. It's created more anxiety. And so I have had to work with a medical professional to start looking at other alternatives to help me through the hormonal changes. Additionally, if you're not able to find an underlying medical cause, what we can do is we can breathe. This is the most underutilized tool that we have at our disposal. You can do a 4-4-4-4. So it's called box breathing. You breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, you exhale for 4, and you hold the exhale for 4. And you keep going through this. And what this does is it stimulates our vagus nerve, which calms that amygdala activity. There's some other things that you can do as well. There's some grounding practices. If you can't stop that racing train, jump into a freezing cold shower, and that kind of smacks down that amygdala of like, why are we freaking out? So some other things that you can do is you can do practice thought stopping, and you can do this by finding a word that you repeat or a phrase that you repeat over and over again. So essentially what this is doing is you have this train racing through your mind, all of these thoughts, and you choose a word or a phrase to only focus on. So for me, last night when I just could not sleep, I just kept saying, take every thought active, to take every thought active in obedience to Christ. Like take captive this thought. And I just kept saying that over and over again. What that does is it stops the anxious ruminating thought and it focuses me solely on that phrase. You could do something like, calm, and use that as you're breathing. You can also count backward. There's something to be said about counting sheep. Again, this is about thought stopping that racing train going through your mind and focusing solely on a word or a phrase, counting backward. Again, we all go through anxious moments, and there are some practices, and you have to be consistent with this. I invite you to go on over to my blog to read more or download some free resources on my website at untangledmind.net. You are not alone with these sleepless nights. I am so tired, and I want nothing more to than climb on that couch and take a nap before I see my clients. But that's also going to disrupt my sleep today as well. You need to think about lessening your caffeine consumption. Don't eat a heavy dinner before bed. Watch screen time before bed. Have a consistent routine. Get up every day at the same time, even if you're sleepless. I was up at 2:30 this morning and I still got up for my day and I still went to the gym and it was so difficult. go to bed at the same time, practice box breathing, try using a phrase, anything you can do that calms this amygdala activation, it works. And be sure to check things out with your medical provider just in case there might be some vitamin deficiencies or some hormonal fluctuations that you're not aware of. We're all in this together. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you can have some sleep tonight.